Debbie is sure that the call from Spencer is fate, because their meeting was predestined by the stars. However, Spencer only needs to get to the tennis club, where Sakamoto is. Now the club has already seen one Spencer impersonated by Jimmy, so the real Spencer is kicked out thinking he is but he manages to steal some decent clothes, return, and find out the address of Walter's house. The moment Ann approaches her, he uses phrases from the women's show he saw on TV in the morning to introduce himself to the beautiful woman he and Jewel agree to meet at 8 SE when Elizabeth calls, looking for Spencer. Jewel answers the phone and Jimmy is having fun in the jacuzzi in the evening. Jimmy's colleagues arrive to pick him up to take him to dinner. With Mr. Sakamoto, when they leave, Spencer shows up and sneaks into the house. The alarm goes off and he is taken to the police station. He has to call Debbie again to pick him up and take him to the meeting with Sakamoto. But Debbie is tired of doing this and demands that Spencer have dinner with her first. Jimmy came to a business meeting. He had a heart-to-heart with Sakamoto and angered Diane, whom he was supposed to be appeasing. Then he went on a date with Jewel. The girl liked him so much that she hinted that he would have a good surprise tonight. They go to Walter's house and Jewel jumps on top of Jimmy. While the couple was lying in bed, Spencer called everyone he knew. Debbie made him dinner and waited for at least a small sign of attention from Spencer. Finally, Spencer called Walter's house and realized that the person who took his organizer was there. He asked Debbie to take him there, but she kicks Spencer out, offended, and forces him to walk to Malibu. As Jewel leaves, Jimmy invites her to go to the baseball finals. With him in the morning, an angry Spencer shows up and spoils his plans. His life is ruined, his career is ruined. And it's all the fault of this naughty man who found his organizer. Spencer grabs the baseball tickets and threatens to eat them if Jimmy doesn't tell everyone that he's the one who screwed up Spencer's deal. Jimmy has no choice but to go with Spencer to the office, where he tries to explain himself, but no one wants to listen. Diane refuses to cooperate with Spencer's agency and Walter reprimands him for the failed deal. Jimmy defends him, but his opinion is of little interest here. Spencer can no longer live in such tension. He quits his job and tells Walter via video call. Jimmy follows him. Suddenly, Mr. Sakamoto appears. He hears Spencer talking to his bosses and reveals the real reason for his visit. He visited the United States to check out the complaints about Diane, convinced that she is a poor specialist. Sakamoto fires her to cheer Spencer up. Jimmy invites him to a baseball game he calls Jewel and explains that he has to support his friend. The girl doesn't mind, but then Elizabeth shows up and tells him that she is Spencer's wife. The deceived women spend a long time trying to figure out how it happened, that both of their Spencer Anwars are so different. Then they see Jimmy catching a ball on TV, hit by a Chicago Cubs player. Jewel and Elizabeth realize that they were talking about different men, and the real Spencer did not cheat on Elizabeth. They want to invite Jimmy to the commentary room and interview him because he caught the ball, but he runs away, noticing the guards. Spencer runs with him. They hear about the end of the match on the radio, and then Jimmy realizes that it's time for him to go back to prison, but doing so will be more difficult than escaping. Elizabeth calls Walter's car and Spencer apologizes to her and invites her to go to Hawaii. Jewel is convinced that he and Jimmy are serious. Then Spencer comes up with a plan to get his friend back to prison. He apologizes to Debbie for his behavior and asks her to make Jimmy look like a woman. The two of them arrive at the prison, where journalists have already gathered and authorities have arrived. Spencer introduces himself as a priest and asks Tolman to allow Jimmy's mother to visit her son. The striking prisoners did not want to let the old woman in until they realized that it was their friend Jimmy. Once inside, he changed into a prison uniform and came out to the journalists with words of gratitude. Tolman found out about his stunt, but did not say anything to the press. Moreover, he promised that Jimmy would be released today after leaving the prison. Jimmy leaves with Spencer, but before he does, he says goodbye to Tolman by throwing a baseball through his office window. Spencer receives a call from Mr. Sakamoto, who invites him and Jimmy to work for him. He offers a very good salary, but Spencer asks for time to think about it. He is no longer obsessed with work. When he and Jimmy are driving away from the prison fence, the organizer left on the roof of the car falls to the ground and remains lying on the road. If you have watched the video so far, you should know that I am happy to have viewers like you. Thank you for watching to the end. Subscribe to the channel and follow the news. Film Reel was with you. See you soon. Do you want to see part 2 of this video? Subscribe to the channel and comment part 2. Thanks for watching. I would see you at part 2.